The leader of the brothers in this week's parsha should have been Reuven. He was the Bechor, but Reuven was disqualified because of the story with Bilhah and because of the fact that his father had severely criticized him. And the Gemara says he was also pataniso. He was busy doing tshuva. So he was concerned with his own matters. So nevertheless, he attempts to save Yosef because he is the one that comes up with the idea, L'chu v'nashlicheu l'achaz haboros. Let's put him in the pit, and then the Ronah Shalom will take care of whatever happens. Now, his idea, as the Chumash testifies, was that he would return later and take him out of the pit, and he would bring him back to his father. That was his intent. But events unfolded so quickly that his intent was of no consequence. The Gemara says, quoting Ilu Yoda Reuven, if Reuven would have known that the Torah would have written down what good intent he had, he would have taken him out right away. He would have put him on his shoulders and carried him home. But he didn't. So because Reuven, so to speak, is in default, so the leadership of the brothers passes to Shimon and Levi, who are the next oldest brothers. Now Shimon and Levi, we met them before in the destruction of the city of Shem. Each one individually is a great person, but in combination they can do very violent things, and that's what Yaakov said later. Shimon v'Levi achimein. So he said, "Achal kem b'Yaakov afitzem b'Yisrael." I will separate them. If they are separated, then their better nature will prevail. And we see that the Levi produced the Kohanim and the Leviim, and Shimon produced the Melamdim, the educators of the Jewish people. So without Shimon and Levi, we wouldn't be here. But Shimon and Levi together, that's a very strong portion to have to swallow. And that happens often in life. In fact, it happens in chemistry. You can have two elements that are by themselves, so to speak, neutral. You put them together and they'll blow up. As I remember from my 10th grade chemistry class. Sodium and water and other things. So Shimon and Levi, what about them? So the Chumash tells us that when they see Yosef coming, they already plan to destroy him. And they say, Hine bala chalomos halozeh bo. Here comes the dreamer. The one that's the bala chalomos. Now they said it in a sarcastic way, because they thought the chalomos were against them, and that his dreams were always negative. And therefore they said, L'chu v'nargeu, let us come, we'll kill him. V'nireh ma yiyu im chalamosov, and then we'll see what his dreams will look like then. So Rashi quotes here, it's a famous Gemara, that V'nireh ma yiyu chalamosov, Ruach HaKodesh said it. In other words, you say it sarcastically, but what you say is true. you will see what will be with his dreams. You will be witnesses to the fact that his dreams are actualized, realized, come into fruition. And Chazal always say that whatever a person says has impact, even if he thinks he's telling a joke, even if he's saying something sarcastically, even in the Lashon of Chazal, if it's the Lashon Saginor, he doesn't really mean it. But nevertheless, words always have an impact. So they said, V'nira mayum chalamosav. We're going to destroy his dreams. And they called him the Bala Chalomos. Now, in so doing, the question arises, were they ever aware of the dreams of Yaakov Avinu? Did Yaakov Avinu ever tell his children, the Shvatim, that dream of Sulam Mutzav Artzav Rosha Magia Shamayma? We don't find in the Torah any record either way. And did he tell them the dream about the sheep? And that the Malach told him, you have to go home. And he, in the Chumash, it only says he called his wives and children and said that it's time to go home. And your father, Lovan, has cheated me so many times, so we got to run. It's dangerous for us to stay here. We're going home. But he didn't attribute it to the dream. Lovan has dreams too. When Lovan catches up with Yaakov, so he tells him, the Lord your God appeared to me in a dream last night, and he told me I can't do anything to you. He said, Yesh la'el yodi, Lavan said. If I wanted to, I have the power to destroy you. But I had this dream, and because this dream restricts my behavior, my action, so I'm going to let you go. Then, because, so again, does Yaakov tell his children that that's what Lavan about the dream? So all of this is left open. The Chumash is not specific. And many times we have that when the Chumash is not specific, so the Meforshim interpret it in not only various ways, but in contradictory ways. Because the Chumash left it open, so there's room to interpret it. And that's what Rashi always means when he says, this is the Pshuto Shel Mikra, this is what it says, V'amedrash Yidorish. But the Medrash has permission to say other things. Because the Chumash, so to speak, isn't definitive here. Doesn't limit the discussion. So therefore, Medrash Yidorish. So the Rabbanu Shalom said to them, here comes the master dreamer. Okay, so then we're going to see. So they said Bala Chalomos as a negative trait. And the Shechina said it as a positive trait. So there are different customs. I mean, we don't have it here at all because of the way we read the Torah. But there were different customs amongst Jewish people in different kehilos in the exile, especially at the time of Bavel. So they would literally act out the parsha as a narrative, as a play. And when it came to halacha, they would act out where the halacha would be. So, for instance, if they had a klal, a prat, a klal, they read it as a klal, a prat, and klal. There's the and then and then So then you knew it was a klal, a prat, a klal. We don't have that. Yeah, we have to be fortunate for what we do have. He reads the words correctly. But in the Chumash, it was able to be acted out. So there was a specific trop, so to speak, a specific melody for this as to how you would read in a balachalomos alazebo. So there was one melody when they said it, and then there was another melody when it said v'nireh mayim chalamosov, because that heaven is saying already. It's not just they are saying it. And that was meant, you have to realize this is at a time when there were no books. Nobody had a chumash in front of them. That was the whole concept of shliach tzibur. No one had books in front of them. No one could read it. So how were the people supposed to follow the story? How were they supposed to know what was being read? So again, if you transcribed it in a narrative, purely narrative form, then it was boring, right? Then you have what you have in many, unfortunately, in many synagogues, that people, they talk, they walk out, But if you make it with the entire drama, with the Jayar Halacha, so then it has a different flavor. So this is a good and prime example that Rashi points out based on the Gemara, that there are two ways to hear these words. We can hear it in a sarcastic vein, that they're making fun of him, but that we also hear it, kaviyochel, how in heaven it sounds, and heaven takes it seriously, and it's not sarcastic, and that you will live to see the nireh mayim chalamosov come into fruition. Rabbi Chananya ben Akashya Omer Rotza HaKadosh Baruch Hu L'Zakas Yisrael Ficha Chibur Lehem Torah Mitzvot Shenemar Adonai Chavei Tzaman Tzidko Yagdil Torah V'Yadir. God